Here we go. It's at 3 of the Honky Tonk favorites. Here we go. One to start us on the mingle. Well, we're going to continue on with some from Hank Sr. here. We're going to roll right through some of these that were some of his neat favorites to do. We're going to go on with one called Honky Tonkin'. Here we go. Honky Tonkin'. When you are sad and lonely, have no place to go, call me up, sweet baby, bring along some dough, and we'll go honky tonkin', honky tonkin', honey baby. We'll go honky tonkin' around this town. When you and your baby have a falling out, call me up, sweet mama, we'll go steppin' out. We'll go honky tonkin', honky tonkin', honey baby. We'll go honky tonkin' around this town. We're going to the city fair. If you go to the city, you will find me there. We'll go honky tonkin', honky tonkin', honey baby. We'll go honky tonkin' around this town. When you are sad and lonely, have no place to go, call me up, sweet baby, bring along some dough, and we'll go honky tonkin', honky tonkin', honey baby. We'll go honky tonkin' around this town. Yeah, honky tonkin'. There we go. We're gonna go honky tonkin' around this town. Just bring along some dough. Oh, here we go. How's everybody doing out there? You guys having a good time? You know, my wife always laughs when I do that, like I'm going to get a response back from you guys, like right now. Sometimes when I do that, she's like, who are you talking to? I go, yeah, there's people out there listening, honey. People out there listening. On with another Hank Sr. Here we go. Hank Sr. Why don't you love me? Here we go. Why don't you love me like you used to do? How come you treat me like a worn-out shoe? My hair's still curly and my eyes still blue. Why don't you love me like you used to do? Ain't had no loving like a hugging and a kissing in a long, long while. We don't get no nearer or further than closer to the country mile. Why don't you speak like you used to do? And say sweet nothings like you used to do? Same old trouble that you always been through. Why don't you love me like you used to do? Why don't you be just like you used to be? How come you find so many faults with me? Somebody's changed, let me give you a clue. Why don't you love me like you used to do? Ain't had no loving like hugging and a kissing in a long, long while. We don't get no nearer or further than closer than the country mile. Why don't you say the things you used to say? What makes you treat me like a piece of clay? My hair's still curly and my eyes still blue. Why don't you love me like you used to do? Why don't you love me like you used to do? Yeah, there we go. Why don't you love me? Like you used to do. Now we're going to go on and do one that I've only done one other time, from Hank Lachlan. And I heard this not first from Hank Lachlan. I heard this first from up at the family reunion. It's called Hes A Girl. Here we go. song that you didn't understand. You met her in a tea house on the island of Japan. Have you ever traveled over many thousand miles to see a pretty geisha girl dressed in Oriental style? They read it in the tea leaves, it's written in the sand. I found love by the heartful in a foreign distant land. Tell the home folks so unhappy, someone that's true I know. I love a pretty geisha girl where the ocean breezes blow. Stood and watched the sunrise in the waters of the sea. Wondered how much beauty in this whole world can there be. We're dreaming, makes my life worthwhile. See my pretty geisha girl dressed in Oriental style. Read it in the tea leaves, it's written in the sand. Found love by the heartful in a foreign distant land. Tell the home folks so unhappy, someone that's true I know. I love a pretty geisha girl where the ocean breezes blow. Yes, I love a pretty geisha girl where the ocean breezes blow. There we go. Geisha girl. Alright. How many of you heard that one before? It's alright. Like I said, first time I heard it was up at the family reunion. And as soon as I heard it and I recorded it, I said, yeah, I gotta get that song. Here we go with one more for this week. I'm going to end you guys with a classic honky tonk song here. Classic honky tonk song. One moment. Just give myself a little refreshment here. My John Wayne cup. Alright, here we go. Classic honky tonk, loud jukeboxes, beer. There's a tear in my beer, 'cause I'm crying for you, dear. You are my lonely mind. Into these last 9 beers, I've shedded a million tears. You are on my lonely mind. Gonna keep drinking until I'm petrified. Then maybe my eyes, there's a tear in my beer, 'cause I'm crying for you, dear. You are on my lonely mind. Last night I walked the floor, and the night before, you are on my lonely mind. It seems my life is through, I'm so doggone blue. You are on my lonely mind. I can't move a toe, then maybe my heart won't hurt me so. There's a tear in my beer, 'cause I'm crying for you, dear. You are on my lonely mind. And Lord, I've tried and I've tried, but my tears I can't hide. You are on my lonely mind. All these blues that I found really got me down or on my lonely mind. Gonna keep drinking till I can't even think. 'Cause in the last week, well, I ain't slept a wink. There's a tear in my beer, 'cause I'm crying for you, dear. You are on my lonely mind. Woo! Yeah, there we go. Yeah, honky tonk music. There's a tear in my beer from Hank Sr. and Hank Jr. I hope you guys have had a blessed week this week. I hope you guys enjoy this week's concert. You know, I remember when my mom and dad would go out, they would go out, as my dad would call it, honky tonk, and my dad would rush home on a Thursday evening because it seemed like he got his check like that night before Friday. And he'd get his check and he'd run home, and he'd get his cowboy boots, and he'd take off. He'd like take a shirt with him, and that song Sunday Morning Coming Down always makes me laugh when I sing it and think about it, because it's like my dad, he'd come home and get a shirt to change into, still in his jeans that he wore for work that day, changed into his cowboy boots, and they were off honky tonking at the local honky tonk around the corner. And the place that they went to was called the Mule Lip Saloon. So, and there was a lot of people who used to come in there. Maybe the drinks were cheaper on Thursday night, I don't know. I never got to go because I wasn't old enough to go yet. So, and by the time I got old enough to go, my parents weren't together anymore. So, I hope you guys have a blessed week. God bless you all. Vaya con Dios, and good night.